In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Welcome to a new episode of Inner Wisdom Life Guidance. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which is the book that we have been reading this month. It's, I'll say, an amazing book. Before I dive into it and the key concepts that it covers, why did I decide to read this book is the first thing I'm going to discuss. And the first book that we read was Many Lives, Many Masters by Dr. Brian Weiss. That book covers concepts on spirituality. It explains why we are here in this world. It talks about what happens when we die and whatnot. So it's very spiritual. I think it's perhaps a book that is written in a more cosmic level, if that makes sense, a higher point of view of our lives and what's the universe and whatnot. This book, on the other hand, it's still also spiritual, but I'll say it's more practical, and it shows all these practices that you can follow to live a better life. So the first book is spirituality, understanding what our lives are, why we're here. This second book is how to live our life. So that's why I recommended this book as a second book to read in this sequence that we're going to follow throughout the year. The way this is going to work, this sequence that I'm sharing with you, it's, I think, a good way to help you grow in your life, whether you think about spirituality or just trying to have, let's say, more knowledge on how to live your life. That's the intention, and that's what we're doing right now. Rating this book, I will give it 5 stars out of 5. I think it's just phenomenal. The level of wisdom and the amount of information, of knowledge that you have in such a small book is just amazing. And the concepts, I think they are so easy to understand. Don Miguel Ruiz, he does an excellent job explaining these key concepts and these best practices that you can follow. It's only 4 agreements that we're going to talk about in a minute. And yeah, it's super easy to read. It's very small, the book. It's only, like 100 and some pages, 120 pages. And yeah, it's very easy to read. Now, with that said, I would recommend that you read this at a slow pace. That's why we were doing 1 agreement per week, because of all the knowledge and all the information that it has. I thought it was going to be easy to take it slow. The first chapter of the book covers the domestication of humans. And basically what Don Miguel Ruiz is explaining is that when we come into this world, there is this dream of the planet, that we become part of this dream of the planet. And this dream of the planet is basically a belief system that is based on lies. It's based on fear. This is what everyone believes in. This is what our parents believed in, our relatives, our friends, and what they believe in is what they are teaching us. And then we learn to accept all these beliefs that are fear-based beliefs. And this becomes our book of law. Now the dream of the planet becomes our dream, where we live our lives ruled by this book of law, this principle, these beliefs that we agreed to accept. Now keep in mind, when we come into this world, when we are born, we are innocent. We don't know anything. So we learn based on what people explain to us. And when that happens, we naturally accept these beliefs. We agree to accept these beliefs. And now we start writing our book of law that has all these beliefs that in reality they are lies. Now you're living your life and you're dreaming the dream of the planet, which it's more like a nightmare instead of a nice dream. Why a nightmare? Because the dream of a planet, he explains that it's like hell. It's a dream where there is suffering, there is pain, there is judgment. Now he closes the introduction by explaining that this dream of the planet, we can stop being part of it and we can create our own dream. And the way we do this is by replacing these agreements, these beliefs that we have, and by creating new agreements. So basically getting rid of the fear-based agreement and creating new love-based agreements. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. And here I'm going to explain a few things that I believe are extremely important for you to understand. What the author explains, what Don Miguel explains, is that Well, first, this is the most important agreement, and that with our word we create, but also we can destroy. What we say and what we think are going to become our reality, okay? And they are also going to impact the reality of other people. An analogy to better understand this is that every cell in our body, every atom that we have is listening to you, is listening to what you're saying, and is listening to what you're thinking. So what's important to understand about this agreement is that it's not only what you speak when we talk about the word, being impeccable with your word, it's also what you're thinking. And the first thing that you should be aware of is what are the things that you say about yourself? What are the things that you think about yourself? This is so important because that's what's going to start changing how you feel about yourself. You should use the word, and remember when we say word is what you say and what you think is how you express about yourself, is what you think about yourself. You have to start using the word in a way where you are loving yourself, where you are kind with yourself, where you accept yourself, who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, the things that you need to work on, the things that you still need to improve. Your body, you love yourself, and you talk and think about yourself in a kind and loving way that will transform your reality right away. This is why this first agreement is the most important agreement of the 4 agreements. And then the other thing you have to keep in mind, the second step I will say, is to remember that what you say to others, the way the author explains this is that you can cast a spell, or you can put a spell on someone else. You can say something that's hurtful, and that person might start believing what you said. That's why when we are young and we start learning all these beliefs and we are agreeing to accept them, that's why it's so critical that you are surrounded by good people and you have good teachers in your life. Because if they say something and you agree to accept it through the word that they say something and you decide to accept it, now you have it in your book of law and you start living your life ruled by this new belief. So when you say something to someone, you could be saying something that a person might start believing, and it becomes an agreement that they have in their book of law. That is why it is so important to be mindful, be aware of what are the things that you're saying to other people. You should use the word to create. You should use the word to help others. You should use the word not only to love yourself, but to love others. So keep that in mind. One last thought on this first agreement. There's a quote from Buddha that says, "What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create." That's the power of the word. Moving on to the second agreement, don't take anything personally. Okay, this agreement, it's also very important, and this is something that many people, they are not aware of. Don Miguel Ruiz says, don't take anything personally, whether if something is said to you that's negative or positive, it doesn't matter. Do not take it personally. And what he's trying to explain here is that you should know yourself. You should understand who you are and what kind of person you are. So if someone tells you something negative, like, hey, you're dumb, for example, well, you should know that you're not. So if they're saying something that is not true, it doesn't matter. It's not true, you know that you're not. You're very smart. Likewise, if someone comes to you and they say, hey, you're so smart. Okay, yes, I know that, right? So it doesn't matter that you're telling me. I know it, and I am aware of it. So you don't take it personally. Now, what happens today in society, well, this has been happening for many years, but what happens mostly, I think it's very obvious what's happening today. We have like this battle of ideologies, and everyone has their own beliefs, of course. And something that it's also explained in the book is that you protect your beliefs. Even though if they are wrong, your nature is to protect your beliefs because that's what you believe in. And when someone says something that, let's say it's an attack or it challenges your belief, you're going to react because, no, I believe in this and I want to protect it, because you have these perhaps identification, let's say, or bond with the beliefs that you have. So when someone comes to you and they say something that offends you, you have to remember that, or something that triggers you, is not what the person is saying, is what you believe that is causing the trigger, is how you are deciding to take what is said to you that is going to trigger you. It's your interpretation of what is said to you. No one has the power to get into your brain and make you feel in a specific way. It is your decision based on how you decide, again, to, let's say, process what has been said to you. So that's why you shouldn't take anything personally. You should listen to what people say to you, but then it's your decision. It is your choice on how you're going to react about it, if you're going to react. And rather than a reaction, then it's an action, because you're being aware and conscious of what is it that you're going to do. So don't take anything personally. So remember, anytime you feel triggered, anytime you feel offended, is because you have decided to take something personally. What the person told you, you are accepting it. And then that creates a reaction in you because you decided to take it personally. It's your decision. It's in your own control. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. There's this interesting change of events that take place when you make an assumption. So you hear something and then you decide to accept it as the truth. And then you start believing in it. And then you take it personally. And then the drama starts. All the drama that we have in our lives is because of communication, and is because assuming things. And we have learned to not ask questions. We are afraid of asking questions. We are afraid of clarifying things. We are afraid of a potential confrontation with someone. So instead of asking a question and trying to clarify, okay, why are you saying this? Why is this happening? You assume, oh, this person is saying this because they have something against me. So now you're assuming that it's true. Then you're assuming that it's against you because, again, you're taking it personally. You assume that it's against you. And then, yeah, you start having all these emotional poison inside yourself, and you start creating this spiral of drama, or however you want to call it. And you start thinking and thinking and thinking and making it like worse. It becomes like bigger and bigger and larger. And again, you're imagining all these things based on something that you heard, that you decided to accept as the truth. You decided to believe in it, and then you accepted it, and you just make the situation worse in your mind. So what's very important about this agreement is always ask for clarification. Always try to be very clear in your communication. And this is part of being impeccable with your word. When you're impeccable with your word, you're going to be excellent at communicating. When you don't make assumptions, you're going to avoid drama. When you don't take things personally, you're not going to make any drama. Someone said something to you, or someone is doing something that you find strange, perhaps you don't like it, without taking it personally, you just want to clarify, hey, why are you saying that to me, or what's going on? And then you have a conversation, and you'll be surprised, right? There's most likely a misunderstanding, and that's the reason why the person is saying something and you were thinking something else. So always strive for clarity in your communications. The fourth agreement is my favorite agreement. Always do your best. Now, you have to keep in mind that your best is not always going to be the same, depending on how you feel, what's your energy level, what are the circumstances that you're in. Your best is going to be different. For example, if you're trying to do something early in the morning, you have higher energy, you feel better, versus if you're trying to do something late at night when you're tired, you're about to go to sleep. So your best is always going to vary, and it's important to be aware that yes, that's how it is, right? And then you have to be kind with yourself and accept that you're not always going to have the same level of performance, let's say. I used to have a message on my whiteboard that said, be the best. I used to believe that for years. I was always trying to be the best. And then I realized, and this was before I read the fourth agreement, which is very interesting, and I think that's why the fourth agreement is my favorite agreement. I realized that trying to be the best demands a lot of energy, and then you have all this anxiety because you're always comparing yourself versus other people, against other people, right? If you're trying to be the best, you're comparing to what other people are doing. You're comparing yourself with what other people are doing and what you're doing. And yeah, that's, I think a source of anxiety and stress. And then I realized, no, I should try to do my best. And this is exactly what Don Miguel Ruiz is trying to explain here. Do your best. As long as you do your best, you're going to be focused on the task that you have, on the activity that you're doing. You're going to be in the present moment, and you're going to have a high level of satisfaction, I will say, by knowing that you did your best. It doesn't matter if things were perfect. It doesn't matter if, let's say, you were able to finish what you were trying to finish. What's important is that you did your best. That's all that you control. And that's why doing your best is all you need to do. As you do your best, as you keep practicing, you're going to get better and better. And what's going to happen is that eventually you might be the best. Keep in mind that the previous agreements are only going to work if you do your best. So keep trying, keep doing your best, keep practicing, as I said before, and little by little, you're going to transform your life. The book ends with two very interesting chapters. One is the Toltec path to freedom, and the last one is Heaven on Earth, where basically the author is explaining how you can break old agreements and create new agreements, and how you can create your own dream. The first thing here that we have to keep in mind is awareness. The only way to be free is to be aware of what's going on. If you don't realize that you're not free, you're never going to try to be free. So awareness, it's extremely important. You have to understand what is going on. You have to be able to identify what are the agreements that you have, what are the beliefs that you have, that you agreed to accept, that are blocking you, that are not letting you be free, letting you be who you are. And this is something that for some people might be scary because you're going to challenge what you believe, but you need to have the strength to take a deep look at what's going on in your life, what are things that you believe in. And as I said this before, it's not that important what is it that you believe in. You have to write it down. You should make a list of all your agreements, but more than understanding of your beliefs, but more of understanding what you believe in is understanding why you believe in it. And when you go down that path, or you look at an agreement that you have, I don't know, let's say, for example, you believe that, I'm going to use an example from the book because I believe that's important. But let's say you believe that you're a bad singer, that you can't sing. Okay, why do you believe that? What happened in your life that put you in a position where you believe that you are not a good singer or that you cannot learn how to sing? And as you go deep down into that analysis, you're going to find the root cause of why you have that belief in your life. And then you can start changing it and replacing it by a better agreement. The intention of the process of following the 4 agreements and doing this analysis is for you to be free, as I said. And basically what you're doing, you have all these layers, all these beliefs, and you're trying to peel those layers so that you go back to the core, and then you start creating your own beliefs, your new beliefs. And there's 3 masteries that are important to have. One is the mastery of awareness, which, as I said before, it's being able to identify who you really are, understand who you really are, understand what are the beliefs that you have in your belief system. The second one is the mastery of transformation. So it's understanding how you can change, how you can transform these beliefs that you have with new beliefs, get rid of the fear-based beliefs, and then create these new love-based beliefs. And the third one is the mastery of intent, which is basically what makes the transformation possible, which is love, is God, is the universe. That's what's going to help you take action. That's what you need to do this transformation that's going to help you better cope with life. The belief system that we have is referred to as the Parasyte. And it's not only the belief system, actually. They explain this book of law that has all these beliefs that you were taught, which again, they are based on fear and they are based on their lies. And then you have the judge, which is yourself. So whenever you break one of those beliefs, you judge yourself and you are hard on yourself because you were not able to accomplish something, or you were not able to do something based on those beliefs that you have in your book on law. And then you have the victim, which is also yourself. So you judge yourself and you punish yourself, right? So that's called the parasite, and it's in your mind. And the idea is to kill this parasite. And there's 3 ways that are explained in the book on how you can kill the parasite. The first one, which I can kind of already referred to it a little bit, is you have to take a look at what are your beliefs that you have. And you have to go one by one, analyzing them and trying to understand why you believe in this agreement, in this belief, and what's the impact that it has in your life. So you need to look at it, understand what it is, understand why you believe in it, and then you're replacing the old beliefs that you have with new beliefs that are based on love, and they are beliefs that are going to help you transform your life, and they are beliefs that are going to make you feel free. The second method is to be in control of your own behavior, be in control of your emotions. And the first one, you need awareness to understand and identify what is it that you believe in. In this one, you need to have awareness so that you identify what is it that you are feeling. You're being in control of your emotions. And this is so important because when you develop this level of awareness, any situation that comes to you that might trigger a negative reaction on you, that might make you feel offended or that might make you feel sad, you're going to be able to detect it very early when it's happening, and then you're going to be able to choose and decide what you're going to do, how you're going to react. You're going to be in control of your emotions. You're not going to lose control. And again, awareness and discipline are key skills to have in order to apply this second method. Something important to clarify here is that you're not suppressing your emotions. It's not that you're not expressing them. You are, but you're doing it in the right way and at the right time. Again, rather than losing control and letting the emotion take over, you are the one who is deciding how you are going to do this. A good analogy is, let's say your emotions are like a bomb. And once you find the bomb, you want to let it explode, but you are going to do it in a safe place, in a safe location where no one is going to be hurt. That's what we mean when we say that you are in control. You're going to release and express the emotions that you have, but you're going to do it in a safe way. And the last way to kill the parasite is called the initiation of the dead, or embracing the angel of death. So what we're trying to do here is reminding ourselves, and I think, again, this is also about awareness, being aware that you can die at any moment. And when you realize that, you understand that the only thing that you have is the present. So it doesn't matter the past, it doesn't matter what you did, it doesn't matter what was done to you. It doesn't matter what's going to happen in the future, because again, you could die at any moment. If you die right now, the past doesn't matter, right? It doesn't exist. If you think about it, it already happened, so it doesn't matter. The future doesn't exist yet, so it doesn't matter why you won't worry about it because you are dead, right? But while you're alive in the present moment, that's all that matters, and that's all that you have to focus on. And that's just going to transform the way that you look at life, and the way that you behave, and the way that you interact with others, and the way you perceive what people are saying. That's a third method on how to kill the parasite. To wrap up today's episode, awareness is the key. Being aware lets you understand what are the beliefs that you have and why you believe in them. Awareness lets you identify how you are reacting, what people are saying to you with their word, if they're not being impeccable with your word. It also helps you be aware on how you're expressing yourself, what are the things that you're saying. Awareness is a superpower that you have to develop. And the best way to develop awareness is through meditation. That is the best thing that you can do. The best practice that you can adopt is to go ahead and meditate every day. I'm going to put a link on my episode on how to meditate and why you should do it. Awareness, again, is the key. There's other ways to develop awareness. For example, you can practice activities that encourage you to be in the present moment. For example, art. If you're coloring, you're in the present moment. You are focused on one thing that you're doing right now, and that's coloring, for example. So you can practice meditation, and you can also practice other activities that help you be aware, help you be in the present moment. When you want to create your own dream, when you want to be free, you want to be happy, this is a choice that you have. Once you understand these concepts that we have explained in today's episode and that they are explained in the book, you have to realize, you have to understand, you have to accept that you have the power to choose what you want to believe in, okay? You are building your own book of law. You're writing your own book of law with your own beliefs. You are in control, and you have to always remember this when you are in the situation where you can make a choice, when you can make a decision. I said this also in a previous episode. Powerful people make powerful choices. Wise people make wise choices. The only way to do this is to be aware of what's going on. Your thoughts and your actions create your own reality, and that is how you can create your own dream. Remember this. Think about this. Practice this every day. Practice these 4 agreements every day. It's not easy, but you can do it, and you will get better. Do your best to practice these 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make any assumptions. And little by little, you're going to see how you destroy all beliefs that are locking you, that are making you feel miserable, and how you're going to create new beliefs that are going to transform your life, and you'll start to dream the dream of heaven on earth rather than hell on earth. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and if you want a one-on-one appointment with me, you can go to iwlifeguidance.com. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.